Guys, gals, and fellow gender non-conforming pals, welcome back. My name is C28, and it is time for another vlog. Got some updates for you, some fun ones. So let's start with the not full sale stuff. Not full sale stuff, technically still full sale stuff. I'm working on 2 movies right now, or films rather. One is doing a pre-production for a sort of 1980s horror movie. So I'll be using this beautiful thing here to make some sounds for it. Maybe do some ADR, a little bit of general mixing for the movie. The other one is a drug lord film where like a drug bust goes wrong or something, and there's all sorts of chaos, high intense action sort of thing. I did a little bit of extra work, extra being, acting. So I was doing a little bit of acting there. I was able to work with the behind the scenes videoing. So should get some fun credits in that. And then I plan to do some audio post production as well for that. And then rigging for boom mics once we fully figure out how to do that. We tried to do it yesterday, but it rained on us. So a lot of our equipment had to be put back in storage, and we had to work with minimal stuff. We ended up reshooting a few different scenes instead of the one we were planning, but worked pretty well. But yeah, on to the full sale stuff. We just had our second day of audio workstations. Pretty much what we went over today is a little bit more on the selection tool. So understanding how to utilize the selection tool more effectively, little hotkeys and little tips and tricks to better your workflow. Honestly, you could probably use the homework as a general walkthrough of what we did. But here, let's go to my notes and see what we're got. There. Lecture 2, importing and editing. So yeah, we started with just generally going over how to set up your session. We did a little bit of a talk on bit rate and bit depth. So bit rate, which is something that we would have learned from sequencing technology, which we did. Bit rate is how many samples are taken per second. So standard is about 44.1 thousand audio samples, but you can have it go higher. You could have it go to 48K. You could have it go to 88.2K. You could have it go even as far as 192K. And then the other thing we got is bit depth, which is your amplitude axis. So that's measuring sort of the dynamic range of your sound, meaning the difference between talking really quietly to talking really loudly. What is that difference? And that's your bit depth. Love that. That was a really good explanation, I think. And bit depth can be anywhere between 16-bit. Honestly, you can do 1 bit, which is a stupid idea because that's it. Just buzzing. That's all you're going to have. There's no dynamic range, no different changes and values and whatnot. But 16-bit is a standard, as well as 24-bit. And another thing we have is 32-bit float. And floating point it's a fancy little thing that allows you to technically have an infinite noise floor. Uses a bunch of logarithmic equations and whatnot to convert from an audio interface that supports 32-bit float. If it doesn't support it, it's just going to cap it and you're going to clip. But the idea with 32-bit float is it takes your sound, the audio interface has like a stupid high level at which you can record at, and it can basically like pick up a gunshot at point blank and be like, yep, got the whole range of that, we're all good, we're set, no issues, no clipping. So again, a bunch of fancy maths stuff to figure that out, but it's another option. What other other stuff to go over? So file management was a big thing that we've been going over for the past 2 days. And it is probably something we should have gone over before this class. But I guess it makes sense because file management in Pro Tools is significantly more different than Logic. So, and Logic does tend to make things a lot easier by just integrating with the Apple ecosystem, or the Apple, what is it? The Mac OS better. But we're going over the difference between your online and offline files. So if something's not found, how is it going to show? Basically, it's going to show a little italicized, lightened version of itself. And when you go onto the clip, you'll see that the file indicator has a little red hue to it. And then I think also the, oh shoot, what was it? There's another icon that goes red. Okay, found it. Cool. So the two things are this little file indicator, and then also a little waveform icon, which, what is that again? Timeline data online status indicator and session data online status indicator. So those two, that makes sense, the way that they're called that. They will turn red if it cannot actually locate the file. It'll have a little placeholder of the file should go here, but we don't have it, unfortunately. It'll look like that. Let's go into some more of what we went over. Yes, very important. So another thing we went over is a few different options within Pro Tools that enable you to change how your inserts, so your edit selection operates. So let's see, where's a good section here to go off of? Yeah, so your edit selection is very similar to the marquee in Logic, where you have that marquee is this little stick thing that drops down and it's like, this is where you're at. That's called the insertion point, or the edit selection, edit, insertion? Yeah, edit selection, insertion point, I think is the most accurate name for it. I could probably just call it marquee, but I don't want to get names right. So that thing can behave very differently depending on different options that you have enabled. So one here is linking timeline and edit selection. So edit selection, yeah, it refers to the timeline if this is on. Because your clip, when you select your clip in Pro Tools, the way Pro Tools reads it is you're selecting a portion of that clip starting at the clip. You don't have to be starting at the same time code. You can have your link timeline all the way at like the first second. And you can have this like down the road where it's placed generally around like maybe the first hour, the second hour, the third hour of your session. But they won't match up because they are different things. In Logic, they are just linked by default. I don't know if there's a way to unlink them. But there's a button for it in Pro Tools called Link Timeline and Edit Selection. So that's essentially what that does. Another one you got here is Link Track and Edit Selection. So what that will do is when you move different areas in your track, the selection that you have will stay. So say if you selected a region and so you've selected the clip and you have a certain portion. I'm trying to think of like a reason you'd use it. I know how to use it, but I can't think of a reason to use it yet. Though I'm certain there is, because otherwise it wouldn't be a function. All right, we're gonna make up a reason to use it. Just roll with me here. Say you want to cut out space. It's exactly the same amount of space that the clip takes up. You can select the clip, and if track link and edit selection is enabled, you can move to a different point of the track and you'd have that selection still there. So you could delete that section. You could lower the volume of that section. You could fade in that section. Okay, those are actually pretty good reasons to use it. Yay, I found a good reason to use it. But that's there. You could also turn it off where it just doesn't have the selection anymore. Another good one here, insertion follows playback. On Logic Pro, GarageBand, FL, Ableton, I think all of these DAWs have this enabled by default. Is this enabled by default? I don't think it is. I don't believe it is. But insertion follows playback essentially means if you're running through playback, meaning that little insert is moving, that little marquee is moving, when you press stop, does it stop there? Or does it return to where it was? If insertion follows playback, it does. And the insertion will stop whenever you stop. But there are there are very good use cases for not having it enabled. Say you are trying to go through a very specific clip, but you don't want to hear it on loop and loop and loop and loop and loop. You can have it turned off where you have your insertion point set, and then you're listening through, like, okay, that has to change. You change it, play, and it goes from where it was before instead of continuing where it stopped. So, good workflow thing. And I'm sure there are many other use cases for it. This is my third day using Pro Tools. I am not a Pro Tools operator, nor a professional, nor even an intern. I just kind of know that the software exists and some very fundamental features. I will learn more as the month continues. This class is teaching me Pro Tools, so I'm not a subject matter expert yet. I probably still won't be an expert by the time I finish this. Still need to keep going through the classes. But it will eventually, hopefully, maybe. I guess about it. Yeah, as far as those go, that's pretty much it. Our instructor called them the WTF buttons. Why is that functioning like that buttons? Which I absolutely love. Definitely going to refer to things that completely change how your user interface operates as a WTF button. Why is that functioning that way button? Great. Naming scheme. Okay, what's it called? Just name. Yeah. The lab today was going over these features and we were practicing them. So we were going over different ways to manipulate clips within Pro Tools. So we were going over, say, and a lot of them were like rather stupid ways of going about doing a thing. Not because that's the way you're going to do it, but because it teaches you how to use a feature. So say instead of using trim and like trimming your selection, what we would do instead is we would have the insertion point set and then learn a command that cuts the audio there and then delete the extra clip, cut the audio, delete the extra clip. Well, yes, the smarter way is to just trim them or crop them. But then we wouldn't have learned about the other functions. So it gives you a bunch of really strange ways of going about things that teaches you all these functions of Pro Tools, which very intelligently designed, but the workflow itself is not as intelligent. There are definitely a few points where I'm laughing like, I did all that just to delete when I could have done this. But I do know how to use this feature now, so that's cool. So that's fun. I say that the lab wasn't too difficult. It was a lot of sort of remembering the features that you used because it stacks, the info stacks. So it'll tell you to use a certain function. And then after you've been walked through that function, you're gonna do something else that uses that function. And then something else that uses both of those functions. And something else that uses all three of those functions. And it keeps going and stacking and stacking and stacking. And then randomly and you might have to reference back to oh, how did that work? That's right. How did that work? That's right. And scrolling through the PDF. Yeah, lab was very fun. Definitely enjoyed being less scared of Pro Tools. I'm definitely getting the hang now of how things work. Absolutely love spot mode still. Spot mode is bloody brilliant. I see how it may not be as useful if you are composing. Like if you're the whole band, like me, C28, I pretty much do everything with the exception of collabs, which are rare. I think officially I've only got like 2 collabs on my discography. I've got one with Lilivin, and I've got one with what is the artist's name? Jeez. Oh, I'm gonna get absolutely blocked. Hold up a second. Let me find this artist's name. Jax with the Z. Jax. So Jax and Lilivin. Yes. God, that was embarrassing. Sorry, Jax. Didn't forget about our song. Yeah. Which, by the way, that song was technically made as a joke. Just like, hey, what if we uploaded it anyway? Like, we knew it was like a kind of draft song, but Jax didn't have any songs released. So figured, yeah, it's just, let's upload it. See what happens. And we uploaded it, and then now they got song credits. I would love to do that in Lost Melodies and Love Timbers Volume 2. I want to have someone just do like the most stupid mundane task, like click a button and then credit them as button pusher or like triangle player. I think in one of the YouTube videos I got here, there's what's it? I think it's Google Translate sings a song, which is like a stupid old video. My production quality was not as good back then, but back then I had a friend just play the cowbell, and I credited them in the video as the cowbell player, and I was like, yes, cowbell player, credited. Yukio, actually. Yukio's got some quality production style. Yukio's more of a DJ than music producer, but does a bit of both. I definitely like the production style. It's a lot of like lo-fi type stuff, a bit of trance. But yeah, Yukio, you better make some more songs. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, not really. Yeah. I was showing off some of the songs that are going into Lost Melodies on Love Timbers Volume 2 to a few of my mates, and got some good constructive feedback on how to go about mixing them. So appreciate that. Nick and Priel, thank you. I'm trying to find where's my. I'm gonna go through the official list of songs actually, so you know what to look forward to. Boom. So as of now, here is the official list of what I am planning to put into Lost Melodies and Love Timbers Volume 2. Not all of them are named. In no specific order. Song 1, August 2023, Song of Day 2. Song 2, August 2023, Song of Day 9. Song 3, Celestial Waltz. Song 4, Die Another Day. Song 5, July 2023, Song of Day 10. Song 6, July 2023, Song of Day 11. Song 7, July 2023, Song of Day 12. 13, 12, I went to 13, it's actually 8. 8, Pad Thing. 9, Spatial Anomaly 1. 10, Stuck in Suspension. 11, Unbound Chaos. And potentially, I've got 4 other ones that may go in, but they're really, really like sketches more than full songs. So they probably won't go in. But if they do, it would be 12, August 2023, Song of Day 5. 13, now really 13, August 2023, Song of Day 7. 14, July 2023, Song of Day 8. And 15? Yeah, September 2023, Song a Day 2. That is the full list of what is proposed. Some of these might get dropped. Some of these may not be listed yet because I might add another one. But my hope is every single one that is not in the potential folder will officially, legitimately be in there. I found those songs to be actually good and repairable. So a lot of the Song of Days, especially the ones that are not named, I haven't gone through fully yet and remixed them, re-recorded some stuff. None of them have really been mastered. yeah, those ones are a bit dodgy. But the ones in the potential category are very, very dodgy, and those are like, oh, they're really not good. Okay, let's give you an example. I'll just randomly pick September, or let's go August 2023, Summer Day 7. So let me find that real quick. Oh my god, that took ages, but got it. It's the one that sounds like this. All right, skip. Yeah, I'm gonna redo those. Again, I get 1 hour to make these. Honestly, without it. Okay, that's pretty good. But the rest is kind of awful. So, yeah, there's that. Don't save. Yeah, so that's why it's in potential, but the other ones are not as bad. Jesus, it feels like it's been taking so long for me to record this video, but it's because I spent so much time searching, which you have the luxury of being able to skip through the power of video editing. Yeah, that's about it. That's really it. That genuinely is it. So, if you got any questions or comments or ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll get back to them. Put your comment here, put your comment here, hide behind your comment, all that fancy nonsense. Yeah. So, hope you all take care of yourselves. God bless, and goodbye, YouTube.